Krásný den, dámy a pánové. Mě velkou ctí, že mohu vystoupit v úvodu přednášky a následné diskuze s tak neskutečně zajímavým a silným člověkem, kterým je Izzeldin Abuelaish, palestinský lékař, který bude za chvíli představen ještě podrobněji. Jeho příběh je příběhem o tom, jak se vyrovnat se ztrátou toho, co je vám v životě nejdražší. Jak překonat tragický rozměr takové ztráty, jež je noční můrou každého rodiče. Je také příběhem o tom, kde najít sílu, znovu vstát, jít a žít den za dnem dál. Jak dál fungovat ve světě, kde se každý den odehrává další a další bezpráví. Jak nechat své srdce otevřené. Jak nestratit lidskost, nezačít nenávidět. A je také připomínkou toho, že lidská práva jsou hodnotou, která musí být podporována a naplňována ve všech časech a ve všech kontextech. Lidská práva patří všem od momentu narození, jsou nezcizitelná a na životě každého člověka záleží stejnou měrou. Je velmi důležité i při obraně proti zlu hledat takové cesty ochrany toho, na kom nám záleží, které jsou vůči hodnotě každého lidského života maximálně citlivé. Jsme povinni v každém válečném konfliktu a v každé složité situaci chránit nevinné civilisty, ctít mezinárodní závazky, umožnit humanitární pomoc a její zajištění i v konfliktem zasažených zónách, chránit humanitární pracovníky, chránit novináře, lékaře. Jsme také povinni se zvláštní pozorností chránit ty nejvíce zranitelné. To znamená děti, ženy, lidé ve starším věku a také ty, kteří trpí zdravotním omezením. Je velmi důležité nerezignovat na lidskost, soucit a ochranu lidských práv. Pokud bychom na tyto principy rezignovali bychom na udržitelnost života jako takového. Jsem velmi vděčná za příběh, s kterým se budeme moci za chvíli seznámit blížeji, protože nám ukazuje, jak spolu zůstat jako lidé i v časech extrémně těžkých, temných, náročných. Jak spolu znovu nacházet kapacitu mluvit, zůstat v kontaktu jeden s druhým, jak nestrácet naší lidskost. A já jsem velmi vděčná za to, že jste mezi nás přijel, že vaši zkušenost máte sílu předávat dál. Děkuji vám za to a vám moc přeji, ať se skrze příběh, který za chvíli vyslechnete, a máte šanci dotknout i toho pro vás důležitého lidského. Děkuji mnohokrát. Díky.
Good evening, dear friends, brothers and sisters. It's with deep gratitude and humility that I stand before you today. We are gathered at the Inspiration Forum, a place that calls us to think boldly, to feel deeply, and to imagine and to think differently. The theme of my keynote is simple, yet it carries the weight of what is happening in our world, the heart and love. In a world where we live torn apart by conflict, by division, and indifference, we are called to return to the most basic truths of our humanity at a time when hatred spreads like a disease and violence destroys countless lives. We must ask, what is it that can save us? What force is strong enough to heal our wounds, to restore the dignity, and to create what we call peace? The Inspiration Forum is an invitation to revive our shared humanity and to imagine a future where human rights, as you mentioned, and harmony prevail in our world. It's a call to hope and healing. Together, tonight, we will explore how the power of heart and the courage of love, grounded in compassion, justice, freedom, equality, and dignity, can overcome despair and transform our world. I am coming today here with a strong belief in the presence of hope. We still have hope. How compassion, justice, and dignity can heal our humanity. And I saw the hope this morning in the venue when we have seen the film. I feel I am inspired and touched by the Czech people who came to stand for humanity, for human rights, for justice. And what is happening in Palestine, they don't accept it. They took it to their hearts to say, we are with you. We are supportive of Palestinians. It's not about Palestinians. It's about us as a human. When they take it to their heart, let me provoke each of you. Let me challenge your conscience. If love is so powerful, why we don't see it more in politics? Why is the world quick to mobilize armies, but slow, even indifferent or silent, to mobilize compassion and actions? Why do we tolerate leaders who speak of peace but invest in war? If we truly love one another, we would allow millions of children to go hungry. Why wealth is hoarded and controlled by a few in this world? If we truly love each other, would we allow refugees to be drowning at the sea while borders remain closed? Love, for me, is radical because it demands that we change the way we live, the way we govern, the way we relate to one another. Love demands courage from all of us. When we live by our hearts, when we act with love, we create harmony, we create peace, we reclaim our humanity. Stories are not the stories to read. Stories are living experiences that we need to learn from it and to live and to show compassion about it. So we need to discovering love in Gaza. In our life, we face hardships and the tragedies. Life is not smooth to any one of us. But at the same time, we want to find ways to be able to find calmness inside ourselves, to work for a better world. My life as a Palestinian refugee was and continues to be a war. I am fighting just to survive. In a time you see others in this world who are living to fight and to kill, to control, to occupy, to oppress, dehumanize, and kill. My life was and continues to be like a raging ocean, but as life increased my ache, my pain, my suffering, I didn't allow it to stop me from dreaming and to achieve my goals. The biggest challenge is individual responsibility. Don't blame. Take responsibility and act. Life is what we make it. Always has been and always will be. I am a Palestinian refugee. My parents and the grandparents are survivors of the Nakba that you hear about. And this Nakba, we inherited it, and it continues with us until today. I was born, lived and raised in Jabalia refugee camp in the Gaza Strip, where life and death walk hand in hand every day now in Gaza Strip. I grow up knowing what it means to live under occupation, to see walls rise where olive trees once grow, to hear mothers cry at night for the children they lost. And yet, in that place of hardship and pain, I discovered the meaning of love. A place where every day is a struggle to live, and every day is also a miracle of resilience. Palestinian people are one of the most resilient people in this world. In spite, they are tested every day in their life. No nation has been tested as the Palestinian people. In particular, the Palestinian mother is the most resilient I have ever seen. I grew up, as I said, under occupation, with the checkpoints and curfews, with scarcity and loss. But I also grew up surrounded by the love of my parents and my people. My mother, though she had little and she is not educated, gave me everything. She taught me that dignity is not negotiable. My father reminded me that education is the strongest weapon we can hold. Stronger than bullets, stronger than the bombs that they are used to bombard Palestinians, because in this world someone can kill, can occupy, can oppress, but no one can take the education from us. For me, love has never been a word of comfort alone. It has been a force of survival. It was the love of my mother and my parents. And then I became a father myself. I built a home filled with laughter, learning and love. My daughters were the light of my life. They dreamed of becoming doctors, teachers, and leaders. They believed that even in Gaza, love could overcome despair. I practiced medicine, to be the first Palestinian to practice medicine in an Israeli hospital, where the Israelis, they used to know the Palestinians as workers, serving them, working for them. It's time to see Palestinians as equal, as qualified, as a human as they are. I believed in that mission, that medicine and the humanity can bring us closer to each other. As a gynecologist, I deliver thousands of babies. Can anyone differentiate between the cry of the newborn, Czechs, Palestinian, German, American, Canadian? It's a cry of life, of hope, and it's the only cry which means life. So medicine for me is a human equalizer, stabilizer, socializer, harmonizer. How we can use and political leaders to live by these values, not to tolerate to see a woman who is in labor suffering. I have to rush to stop the bleeding, not as what is happening now in Palestine, in Gaza Strip, with the genocide, the ethnic cleansing, the war crimes, and the world is silent, indifferent, or complicit. Silence in times of injustice is injustice. Indifference, it means complicit in the genocide and what is happening. It's time to wake up and to take action. But one night, which continues until now, one night, 16th of January 2009, a shell struck my home. In a single moment, 3 of my daughters, Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and my niece Noor, were gun killed, not by accident, but by hatred, by a system that dehumanizes Palestinians, that sees our lives as disposable. In that moment, I faced a choice to allow hatred to consume me or to answer hatred with courage, with determination, with steadfastness. I chose the courage and the hope, not because it was easy, not because I didn't feel the anger and the outrage, but because love and courage are the only path that leads to life. Hatred only breeds more hatred, and violence leads to violence and more violence. It was the love of my daughters, that I am accountable to my daughters, whom I see them, whom they talk to me every day. I see my daughters in every Palestinian child and every innocent child in our world, to whom I am accountable. They ask me, what did you do for us? I say to them from here, I didn't forget you. I will never give up and will do my best, and gave them the oath when I saw them killed in front of me. I believe one day I will meet them, to meet them with the big gift. It's the justice for them and for others, and that their holy souls and noble blood will never, ever be waste. It has to make a difference in others' lives. I lost my daughters, not because of fate, as I said, because of hatred. I stand before you as a Palestinian from Gaza, as a father, even in death. We are not allowed to say a farewell from our loved ones. You see it these days. The people are separated. They don't know what happened to their loved ones. I wanted to see them, even when they are buried. I wasn't able to see them because I was with my daughter, my niece, and my brothers at the hospital. Even in death, we don't have the choice. I wanted them to be buried close to their mother. Even in death, we are controlled. They were buried far from their mother. When we speak about why the heart, because the heart is the center of our being. The heart is the place where compassion, courage, and conscience reside. Always, if there is something to happen, I say to you, ask your heart. And I ask you, ask your heart. With all of this happening, and you see it with your eyes, you hear it, you feel it. How do you feel about what is happening? Let me clear. When we speak of love, I don't mean a soft or sentiment love. I mean a fierce love, a courageous love, a love that takes responsibility. And today, Gaza, it bleeds. Love is what is needed most, not the shallow love of slogans or concepts or words, but the profound love that insists no child in Gaza or anywhere should be hungry. No family should be displaced. No people should be denied their freedom or dignity. Love that demands to stop the genocide and the ethnic cleansing and to end the occupation. Let the Palestinians, let all of us live as equal, as neighbors, as human beings. Love could change our world. Love will inspire us to act with courage. Only love, rooted in justice, can heal our world. Let your heart speak. Love is the path to truth, justice, dignity, freedom that will prevail. And when we speak about the truth, because Jesus said, peace be upon him, seek the truth, and the truth sets you free. We want to be free in our world. And now, I ask you, how do you feel when you see what is happening? And to take this message with you. If your heart aches, if your heart feels restless at the sight of injustice, so why do you keep silent? Why do you keep silent? They are your human fellows. Because that feeling is love calling you to take responsibility and to act. The United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, begins with the recognition not of power, but of dignity. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. That dignity is not granted by governments or treaties. We are born with it. It's inherent in each of us. That dignity is needed. It's felt in each one's heart. Without the heart, laws that we have it are empty. And now the international institutions, they are impotent. They are paralyzed. They are empty of their actions. Our institutions, they became cold. What is the value of the United Nations, ICC, ICJ, Human Rights Council? And rights are ignored. Or we have many standards. So as I said, love is not a word. Love is an action. Love means taking responsibility for one another. Love means refusing to be indifferent to suffering. Love means standing up when others are silent. Love means insisting on freedom and dignity. The opposite of love is not hatred, as some people they think of. The opposite of love is indifference. And indifference kills. Silence kills. Words, they kill. So it's time to speak out about what is happening. And also, justice is love, which is made visible. Love that seeks justice and promotes justice. If the heart is where humanity begins, and love is courage, then justice is the visible form of love in our societies. Justice is love translated into law. into policy, into public life. True justice is not revenge, nor it's a charity. Justice is ensuring that the principles of human rights are applied equally to all of us, without exception, and not leaving anyone behind. But also, love as justice, we need accountability and the transparency. Accountability and justice are essential, crucial to our safety, to our dignity, to our rights, to stability and sustainability of our world. What makes the evil to flourish in this world is good people to do nothing. Even anyone who is safe, secure from punishment when they misbehave or violate the international law, they will continue to repeat it again and again. Accountability, as I said, is needed to have a secure world. Because of love, and I am accountable to my daughters, I established Daughters for Life Foundation in memory of my daughters, which is dedicated for education of girls and young women from the Middle East without any discrimination. Palestinians, Israelis, Jordanians, Syrians, anyone, Muslims, Jewish, Christians. And why? Because who are women? We need more women. Women are the ones who nurture life. Women are the ones who give life and who pay the major price of war and conflict. It's time for women to take the lead and to make decisions. And I fully believe achieving a stable, sustainable, safe, secure world is the function and the duty and the role of women and women's education. Women, they don't need to be empowered. They need to have the opportunity and the means to make a difference in our world. And the world is not built on men only. The world is built on both of us, not someone to control the other. We as men and women to complement each other, to work together for a better world for all of us. So when we live by heart, when we act with love, we create harmony, we create peace, we create our humanity. Let us all, men and women, elders and the children, walk the path together with hope, faith, and action. And I want to end with a poem which was written in memory of my daughter, Bisan. To those political leaders where love resides, in memory of Bisan. Bisan was my eldest daughter. She was 21 years old. She wasn't only a daughter. I see myself in her. I see myself in Bisan. When I named her Bisan, in particular for my daughters, I wanted to give them names to be proud of themselves. So Bisan is a Palestinian town in the north of Palestine. And I heard the song of Fairuz, غنيت بيسان. And I am proud of her in her life and in her death. So this in memory of Bisan. I long to touch you, Bisan, one more time, to hug you, to tell you how sorry I am that your mom died, because her mother passed away 4 months before she was killed. My wife passed away 16th of September 2008, 4:45 p.m. And my daughters were killed 16th of January 2009, 4:45 p.m. And what kept me moving also I started to look to my living children, my son Muhammad, who was 12 years old. What will be his future? Hatred and violence, or what we call extremism, is he going to be extremism as they describe? Without asking themselves, what did they do to them? He looked at me while I was screaming, crying. He said to me, why are you screaming and crying? You must be happy. I said, maybe he doesn't know that his sisters were killed. He said, I know, Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and Noor are killed. But I know they are happy there. They are with their mom. She asked for them. That's the Palestinian child, 12 years old, who teaches leaders of our world, who believes that his sisters are happy there and they are alive. That your mom died, but now you too are gone, Bisan. Your smiling face, your gentle way, your softness, your non-judgmental words, your pain for your people, your way of life, your dreams, aspirations, your hope for peace. Just days before the war, I spoke with your dad. He gave me your phone number. It's still in my car. Every day I glance at the number, seeing your name, Bisan. I wish I had spoken with you more, but I didn't have the guts. I spoke with you 3 days before you died. I told you that I am praying for your safety. My prayers were not heard through the shelling, the bombardments, the attacks, the smoke. I feel I have been betrayed by God, by the people who are doing it, by the cruelty of humanity, by the warmongers, by those who think safety and security is through military means. And with all of this, I have been given a gift to have spent 6 weeks with Shada, Izzeldin, and Ghaida. Shada is my daughter who was wounded, and Ghaida is my niece who was wounded. I heard no words of revenge, nor hatred. I heard no anger. I heard the deep belief that peace is possible. Even with this enormous loss, I have been strengthened from their strength. I am more determined from their determination. I am more at peace from their peacefulness. Bisan, forgive me for not being able to save you from my own people. Forgive me for giving you hope that peace is possible and then taking that dream from you. You will always be my symbol of hope, peace, and mostly gentleness. Your dad shared the dream with me. And that's what happened after she was killed. I dreamed in her after she died. He came into a room full of men, and there you were, sitting amongst them. He asked you, why are you sitting here, Bisan? You know, it's not acceptable in our society, a young woman to be sitting with men alone. You answered, all is fine. Now, Dad, I am happy and well. I can be here now among the men where I am needed. May no other woman need to die in order to be able to influence the men as you have, Bisan. May we women be heard and heeded, and may the men and the leaders in this world get the chance to know from deep within their hearts that this is where the answer lies, in their hearts, where love resides. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Just a few personal questions to better understand your mission and your purpose. The 16th of January 2009, when your 3 daughters were killed by the Israeli tank, nobody could say a word if you became a bitter, silent, deeply wounded man. But you didn't become one. Later on, when you tried the Israeli army to renounce the act, to admit that they made a mistake to attack your house with the tank, they refused officially. You again could become a bitter, hardened, deeply wounded, silent man. And for the 3rd time, when the war in Gaza hopefully is over, 100 people with your surname, your family, is dead again. You're not silent, bittered man. What is it that make you go and speak? You said that you promised to your 3 killed daughters and to God that you will embark on a mission. So what is it?
When my daughters were killed, 16th of January 2009, where the war started, 27th of December, I was with my children, and I am a family person. My children are my life. I dedicate my life to my children. I learn from them. And we were under attacks. Who will be killed? We were as now. Palestinians waiting in line, just in numbers. Who will be next? So who will be killed from my children? Bisan, Mayar, Aya, Noor, Shada. No, I don't want. I want my children. Even I used to put them 3 under this wall, 3 under the other wall, in order not to be killed at the same time. And I used to be as informal correspondent to speak about the atrocities and what is happening, to expose it to the media. But when we were expecting anything to happen. But when I saw it, I didn't believe it. Now I felt it. And what kept me moving forward at that moment? My faith. I am a person of faith. I left faith in humanity at that time. As many Palestinians in Gaza now, they lost faith in what we call a humanity. They are watching what is happening. They see the Palestinians as numbers. We count 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 70,000 are killed. How many wounded? Mass destruction, mass murder, mass displacement. So I will never accept just to be a number. And that's what we need. Human beings, they have names, they have faces, they have hopes, they have parents, they have dreams. And that's what we want to see it. So at that moment, I am blessed to have my faith, a medical doctor. I have to focus in medicine. Those who are killed, I can't do anything to them. So I have to focus on those who were wounded. When I saw my daughter, Shada, with her eye on her cheek, and her fingers are torn. My niece, Ghaida, who came after the first bomb, she came, and we thought that she is killed. She is done. But my son, he said, she is breathing. So I focused on saving lives. But we have to learn why the first patient died, what we can do to prevent. And it's important for us. Anger is there. I feel angry in a positive way. I will never accept what happened. And maybe, you know, the killing and the murder doesn't hurt those who are killed. It hurts the ones who are living. We are killed on a daily basis. I see it. I miss them. I talk to them. I imagine them. But I say to them, I will never forget you. I will never give up. I am living for you. And in order to carry their mission, their message, I have to be strong, determined, more focused. And that's what I need, without outrage. Because some people, they think kindness, wisdom, patience is a weakness. They don't understand it needs a lot of courage and wisdom to be then rude and outrageous. And we as Palestinian people, we are patient. And we have the strength of patience, the resilience, and we are determined. We have to achieve our goals to be a free nation. We are seeking, it's the only nation which is occupied. It's the only nation which is occupied. We are not asking to take us to the moon. And we don't want to delete anyone. We want to be recognized on our land as a free people in this world, as equal, and that our dignity is equal to everyone. And we deserve it. It's not granted by others. This is our right. And we advocate for our rights, and we need your support to stand for the Palestinians' rights, dignity, freedom, which is your dignity, which is your freedom and your right.
You live in Canada. If I may say that, you're very shortly moving to Europe, to Belgium. What do you think is most needed from us, from Europeans, from people like us?
Of course, from the people, to show compassion, to take responsibility, to ask your heart, if you were in a challenge, what would you like others to do for you? And to understand one thing, that we all in this world, we all are potential victims. What we call it before, they came first. During the Holocaust, the Nazis, they came first to the trade unionists, to everyone, and then I didn't act. I thought that I am far away from risk. Then they came to me. I didn't find anyone to help me. So I say to you, you need to be proactive and to take action, to speak out against what is happening in this world. Today, we are the victims. We don't know who will be the next victim in our world. And we all, as I said, we all are potential victims. You have seen it during COVID. We all were potential victims. So we need to stand up to fight against this epidemic, which is the oppression and the occupation.
You mentioned in the speech that you do feel anger. I have to say that it's very impressive that you are the Palestinian doctor. You help the Israeli women to deliver babies. So you were like in a very symbolic person in Israeli hospital. You were the one doctor from Gaza. So how can you turn anger into something positive?
No, I can't turn it, but even when I practice that, I don't see in the woman that I delivered, she is a Jewish. I see she is a human being, a woman who needs care. And I gave her with my full heart, with love, with compassion. And I want her to live, to understand, and to know he is a Palestinian doctor, is the one who delivered me. And to see the human face in the Palestinian, and to be human, and to behave as a human, not to see me as one who is less than them, but equal to them, qualified as they are, if not more than them. And that's what I wanted. It's a mission in life. So I feel the anger, and we need to transform this anger in a positive way, because anger can be destructive. When someone to feel angry, to start breaking and destroying. But we need the positive anger. When I see something wrong happening, I jump to stop it. I speak out, not to accept it. If I see someone crossing the street to do harm to themselves, I have to give hand and to help. That's what we see now happening, streamed live in Gaza. Does this make us angry or not, in pain? We need compassion. Compassion is not to feel, to take action. And that's the anger we need in this world, to say we never accept it. We have to take action. They are not different. I ask, is there any difference between the blood of the Palestinians and the blood of the Czechs? We bleed the same color. We bleed the same color as your blood. We feel as you feel. We are equal to you and similar to you. And to overcome the man-made differences. Differences are for good. We are not as much as we think we are different. We are similar as people in many ways. So that's what we need to see my humanity in your humanity, and to advocate for humanity. And that's the anger. I don't accept injustice, discrimination, and differences.
Am I right to think that some of the babies you helped to deliver, it must have been 20 years ago or more, might have become soldiers in the Israeli army who were fighting the war in Gaza now? So there's something wrong with the system. The system needs to change, isn't that?
Yeah, of course. But when I delivered them, I didn't deliver them as soldiers. I delivered new life.
Yeah.
That's important. So all of what is happening in this world, even what we call it systematic, structural, and cultural violence. It's systemic. It's organized violence. And that's what we need to expose in this world. You see it in the indifference in this world, the double standards in this world, when we come to injustice and to the international law. How many standards? They can start in Palestine. It's implemented differently from other countries. And it's led by system in this world. Poverty in this world. We know there is no shortage of resources. We have resources that covers the needs of all. What we spend in military means can feed all of the people and educate all of them. So it's time to change, because there is a profit in military means and in wars. To sell weapons, and that's what's happening in Gaza now. It's a practice of these weapons. To practice these weapons, Palestinians are not experiment. To practice these weapons and to provide them with these weapons. So it's about the system in our world. So what is happening in Gaza exposed the weaknesses of the international system. And you remember in COVID, when we were exposed to COVID, it exposed the fragility of the health systems around the world. The world became naked. They can't deal with COVID, even with the respirator. They don't have. Even they don't have masks, gloves, many things. And we thought the health system is so high, advanced. And the same now. The same what is happening in Gaza to expose it. So we need, it's a new era. I say it's an opportunity for the world to have a reform. To have a reform in this international system. Number one, to start by the United Nations. We can't be controlled by 5 countries because the United Nations was established in 1945 after the World War I. The world changed. It has been 2 billion people. Now we have more 8 billion people. Number 2, it was about 57 countries. Now 195 countries. And until now, everything in life changed. Until now, we live by the old days, 5 countries and 1 country to veto and to block all of the resolutions. This is injustice, and this means systemic change is needed.
You mentioned that patience and resilience would be the strengths needed in the future. There is also a Palestinian proverb. I would like to say it because I can mess it up. You said in one small house, 100 people can live if they are friends, like they don't hate each other. But the house is small for 2 people who hate each other? Is that?
Yeah. You know what I say, because the people, you asked me this question, what do we need, how to resolve it? 2-state solution or 1 state? So I said, don't ask us as Palestinians. And this gives me the example as a gynecologist, a woman in labor. A woman in labor, and I approach her to ask her, what do you want the baby? She is in labor pain. And I'm sure women here who gave birth to babies, they know the meaning of labor pain. I approach her in the labor pain to ask her, what do you want the baby to be? What name are you going to give the baby? While she is in the middle of the pain, what is she going to say to me? What do you think? She will curse me. She will curse me. She will throw me with anything. Deliver the baby. Rescue me, save me, give me painkillers. I want to relieve the pain. That's what is important. And the Palestinians now who are slaughtered, killed, displaced, stop this genocide. This is number 1. Number 2, we need a diplomatic resolution to end the occupation. And most important, we need justice and accountability. Justice and accountability in order to prevent it from happening again and again. Because it has been 2008, 2012, 14, 18, and all of the time, and that's what is happening. So don't underestimate the Palestinians' patience. Palestinians are patient and very resilient, but for how long can we keep patient?
I'd love to know what it was like to grow up in a camp, in a refugee camp, to be asking your parents why you don't grow up in a house like people do, like what it was like to live with Nakba. And we might get to it later, but there is one part of the movie I didn't quite understand. Somebody says that if you lose somebody from your family, you become a martyr in Palestine. That's what happened to you. You can speak your mind to Hamas. Is that true? Did I get it right in that movie? You were talking to some man, and the voiceover said, if you're a martyr, you are somebody in the community who can speak your mind to the elders or something.
No, I
could you explain?
What you mean.
Yeah, could you explain it? Because I didn't get it right.
What we call it, I will translate it. The one who pays in the capital cares about the loss. Mm-hmm. And Palestinians, they paid in the capital. They paid from their loved ones in Gaza. Everywhere, they paid in the capital for the freedom of the Palestinian people. And I know the meaning of the loss. So I have the right to speak about the loss, and I know the meaning of loss. It's not about speaking about Hamas. I have to speak everywhere because it's a moral responsibility. And we as Palestinians, we criticize in a constructive way the system in Palestine. Even many Palestinians, they criticize the Palestinian Authority. We criticize Hamas. We are open, free nation, and we speak out. We are free. I hope others, when we criticize Israel, what are they going to call me? If you criticize the Israeli government, if you are non-Jewish, you are anti-Semite. If you are Jewish, you are self-hated Jew. When I criticize the Palestinians, anyone, no one will say to me, you are anti-Palestinian. I love Palestine. I love the Palestinian people. I advocate for it. No one to say to any one of us, you are anti-Palestinians. We need this criticism in a positive way and to speak loudly. So it's important when you say that. The Palestinian people now in Gaza, they have every right to criticize the world and to say what do they believe, because they are the ones who are under the knife. They are the ones who are slaughtered. They are the ones who are hungry, thirsty. Not me to speak in their name there. I feel their pain, but it's up to them to decide.
Once again, to anger and hate. When you were 15, I believe, you went to work for a Jewish settlers on a farm, and you gained money to build a house, and then you became a doctor in Israeli hospital. But I assume you must have had bitter feelings towards the Jews, the Israelis, who took your land, didn't you?
You know, first, when I worked at that time, at the age of 15, to go there, because Palestinian people and the children, summer holiday is not for vacation. Even the weekends, we have to find any kind of work to help our families. So I went there to work in order to survive and to help my family. I was there for 40 days away from my family. I was counting the days to work like a slave from 6 o'clock in the morning until 8. But the reward for that was about 400 liras. And what happened after? I didn't see in them anything. I want to go back home. With these 400 liras, 1 week later, Ariel Sharon, who was the commander of the Gaza Strip, they came to widen the streets in Gaza Strip, and they destroyed what we call a home in Gaza, in Jabalia camp. What do you mean by a home? It's a ceiling that protects us from the sun and in winter. And that's the most painful. I see it now in Gaza, which has been turned into rubble. People who built their houses from their sweat. They invested everything in their houses. And home, it doesn't mean 4 walls. Home is your dignity, your privacy, your memory. Home is your secrets, your life, everything. So then to be homeless, this is the most difficult moment. I felt it, that I don't want anyone to be homeless. And I feel it now in Gaza with my people there who are homeless, sleeping in the streets. Public washrooms, they are waiting 2 hours for the toilet or to collect water. Children, you see them. So with the 400 liras, we bought another house in the camp. But as you said, the bitterness, it's not there. I went to Egypt. I graduated from the School of Medicine. When I worked in Israel at Soroka University Hospital, which is the largest, I participated in a conference in Al-Quds, in Jerusalem, in my way. This was after 24 years after I worked with that family. I said, it's time to go to visit that family. I wanted them to see the Palestinian who served them, now to see him as a doctor. In my way back with my car, I parked in front of their house. I know the house after 24 years. I knocked the door. One of their daughters who were born while I was working for them, she opened the door. I said, I want to meet your dad. She allowed me in. He came. He is running business with Palestinians from West Bank and from Gaza. He asked me, what kind of business do you do? I said, I'm not doing any business. You don't know who I am. I am Izzeldin, the teenager who worked for you. But they know that I became a doctor from the Palestinians who worked there. And that's the message. It's not with anger, with revenge, with success, to take it to the heart. And those who killed my daughters, they want to see me collapsed, broken, defeated. They will never enjoy this moment. And I am not a victim. I am a survival. I am a leader. And we are keeping moving forward. No way backwards, with more determination, more focused. And that's what I say. The revenge we are seeking is justice and the freedom to our people. And that's what we need. They want me to be revenged. Even I remember it when I went to the hospital. They said this Palestinian doctor is more dangerous than others, because they don't want me to speak with wisdom. They want me to speak with anger, with revenge. I will destroy, I will do, I will never. I have stronger means. Words, our meeting here, the bullet kills once, but words are stronger than bullets. And we have stronger means as Palestinians, as we said, patience, resilience, wisdom, determination, which can lead to our goal. Thank you.
Thanks for being sensitive, audience. Now it's time for your questions. Please raise your hands if you want a microphone, so everybody around you can hear you. So you're more than welcome. I'm kind of enjoying silence with you. Now, you mentioned that trust in God was something that kept you going. Well, the skeptic might say, okay, there is one God. The fundamentalists would present such God, that the God said, you know, in the Bible, whole Israel is for Jews, not for Palestine people. There is another preacher who would say, you know, the Jews have no place in Palestine. So what sort of God do you have?
I have faith in God. I have faith in God that we were created from Adam and Eve, and we became nations and the tribes to know each other. And knowing is not just to know the face or name, to show compassion, the humanity. God was able to make us one, the same, whether Jewish, Christians, or Muslims. But he made us different in order to collaborate, to complement each other, to support each other. God equalizes between people, not to discriminate. No one is chosen or superior than the other. We all are equal. I believe in all. I am proud as Palestinian, where we have Palestine as the place of faiths. All of the faiths were in Palestine. You are Christians here. We as Palestinians, we know about Christianity more than anyone else. And we live together. And it's shame to ask a Palestinian if you are Muslim or a Christian. We are one. We are one. We don't. And even when you speak about Christianity, Jesus, peace be upon him, many Christians I meet, they don't know much about him. And we are proud that Jesus, peace be upon him, he's a Palestinian. He looks like me. Not the blonde as someone they describe it in Western countries. And I take my children to all of the churches to visit, even in Palestine. When President Arafat, he used to say it, we would love to establish Palestinian state where a small flower, he means a young girl, will raise Palestine flag on the churches before the mosques. So we don't discriminate. Even before 48, Palestine was incubator for all to live. Palestinian Jewish, Palestinian Christians, Palestinian Muslims. We are one, so we need to resume that unity within Palestine. It's not based on someone to dream and to come, oh, God gave me. Who was witness when God gave you? Or you are chosen by whom? Chosen by yourself. So you choose yourself and you decide for yourself. And to deny others' rights, no one can deny or control. We all were born free. We all were born free, equal. I believe in that, and we need to live free and equal.
Thank you. Do we have a microphone, please? Yeah. Here in front.
Hey, maybe my question is more towards you than you.
It's for both of us.
Maybe, I don't know. So maybe I start with saying that I study in Finland, and when the war in Ukraine happened, we had this like activities and walking and raising donations for Ukraine. And back then we found this organization called Kiev Angels, and we donated them to buy, of course, armed resistance towards Russia. And when 7th of October happened, we started doing the same, and then they started calling us supporters of terrorism. And I don't know, I found it super problematic that when the same thing happens in Ukraine, we call it Kiev Angels, and when this happens in Palestine, even you are calling it even you are trying to criticize it, and I just found it super racist because oppressed people have the right to violence, and no one talks about the fact that Ukrainian people are doing armed resistance because they want to defend themselves, and when it comes to Palestine, we call it terrorism, and I don't think I understand this. And because, of course, your questions were more towards this, this approach to this topic. Maybe you can both answer me. I don't know, I'm just super confused.
Maybe you should help us. We said something about terrorism?
No.
Please
answer.
Because you're talking about not being angry.
I will,
yeah, please.
Thank you so much for asking this question. And that's when I expressed it with the double standards about our world. What is happening? It's clear. The definition of occupation is clear. And the resistance as a human right of the occupied to resist the occupier. This is a human right by the international law. In any way, you have the right to resist every mean you can to get rid of the occupation. But when Russia invaded Ukraine and occupied their land, Western countries and the United States, they stood beside Ukraine, and they have the right to defend with every mean to get rid of the occupation. But we have been occupied for decades, and we are struggling. We tried every possible mean, military means, even diplomatic means. With all of the violation of Israel, Israel violated most of the international resolutions, and they didn't comply with it. What did Western countries do? They are double standards. They are blind about Israel, and that's what leads to the impunity the impunity of Israel. And that's the double standards. Why, when it comes to Palestine, you see, they started to impose sanctions against Russia, against Iran, in Syria, in Iraq, even, which was fake in Iraq, with Tony Blair, when they started mass destructive weapons, which is a lie. And later on to recognize, they attacked Iraq, they destroyed Iraq, and now for Palestinians, they are talking. What prevents them from taking actions against Israel with sanctions to stop them from these violations of international law in order to comply with it? And this, believe me, it's going to be helpful to the Western countries, to our world, to the Israelis, to the Palestinians. It will save the world from the self-destructive act of this rogue country. Israeli government is behaving as a rogue country in this world. They are above the law. So we need to save them from their destructive act, to save our world. Today, Israel is doing it. What about tomorrow, if China to go to occupy Taiwan? What are we going to do? Or any strong country to occupy a weaker country? Do we live in jungle? We live in a world, a human world, and we need to endorse, and no one is above the order of law. Israel is not above the order of law. And it's the right of the Palestinians to resist in any way they feel is able to help them to get rid of the occupation. You know what? I say it. A criminal supports a criminal. Occupier supports occupier. A thief supports a thief. And that's what we need. It's time we support occupied, we support someone who is suffering, who is in pain, not to support criminals or occupiers or colonizers. The days of colonization are over. It's time to have a new era of freedom for all, equality for all, and to resume a trust in the international law and the order of law.
I thank you for the question, and sorry for me being so slow. Thanks. Yeah, there are some hands there.
Yes.
Dobrý večer všem. Můžu mluvit česky? Asi. Dobrý večer všem. Já vám všem děkuju, že já jsem český lékař nebo palestinský lékař. Žiju mezi vámi skoro 25 let. Pocházím z pásmu Gazy ze severu, z oblasti Bet Hanunu. Já musím taky poděkovat panu doktora, že je mezi námi tady je. Z toho můžu, co on zažil, je to strašně těžké, bolestivé. A od něho chtěl bych, tady poprvé ho vidím, a od něho chtěl bych se naučit, jak překonat bolesti. Já jsem zažil takový podobný případ. Tady pracuji v Ji.hlavě skoro 3 roky v nemocnici. Byl jsem na operačním sále, normální běžný den operuju a dostal jsem telefon z pásmu Gazy, že zabili mého táty během války teď. A můj táta, pana doktora ho zná, je primář největší nemocnici Šifa. Taky pracoval v Izraeli několik let. A je to těžké cíl tady se naučit překonat bolesti. A já vám všem děkuju, že žiju mezi vámi v Čechách skoro 25 let. Jsem studoval u vás lékařskou fakultu. atestoval jsem u vás a poprvé vidím hodně Češi tady jsou, mají zájem, alespoň když vaše přítomnost jste tady, že máte zájem pochopit a rozumět, co se děje tam. A děkuji vám všem a děkuji pane doktora. Ještě jednou děkuji moc. A asi to není otázka, jenom takový malý komentář. Děkuji moc.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Of course, I know his father. He's a colleague of mine. I know him. He lives in Beit Hanoun. And now, because Palestine and Gaza Strip entered every home in this world, even neighborhoods, Beit Hanoun, Beit Lahia, Jabalia, Khan Yunis, everywhere it entered. I remember it. When I got the citizenship, the Canadian, they asked me, which country do you want to write your birthplace? So I said, doesn't need a question, I am Palestinian. They said, in Canada, we don't recognize Palestine. You have to write Gaza Strip, Gaza or Israel. I said, they will never. Because I said, I don't want to write Gaza, because everywhere I go, they will know and they will stop me. They treat me differently. And Israel will never. I said, yes, we are different. And I feel we are different in being determined, successful, and we will continue not to give up. We Palestinians, we can make life from death. From nothing, we make something. And that's what we are doing, not to give up. Nothing is impossible in front of us. And that's what we need. I say to you, your father, God bless his soul, he will never die as long as you are alive and continue. And that's what I'm doing for my daughters. I inherit and I pass the torch to my living children to keep them alive. At least you are alive. I said, I have my living children. Always I am thinking of the hundreds of families who were completely erased from the civil census. Hundreds of families. No one is remaining of them, but it's our moral, ethical, human responsibility to be their voice, because I say it, if the killed, the murdered, the wounded can't speak, they are gone. It's the responsibility of the living and loving to speak out. And we are here to be their voice, to keep them alive, and to say to them, we will never forget you. They are in a better place based on our faith. I see it. To be energized by them and to carry their message and not to be waste. That's the most important. Their holy souls to be a prize for our freedom and to say to them it wasn't waste. That's our responsibility. And that's what we need, all of the efforts to transform their blood, to blossom into freedom, into justice, into dignity, and independence of a Palestinian state, inshallah.
Thank you for your speech. I found it truly inspiring, so thank you for that. Over here. So I was thinking when you were when you told that after your home was destroyed by the Israeli, you were seeking justice and you tried to make them accountable, and they refused the allegations. So my question is, if you believe that the current Israeli government will be held accountable, namely Benjamin Netanyahu, if you believe that within his lifetime he will find justice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's challenging because I asked for apology and to take responsibility, to acknowledge the human face of my daughters, of the Palestinian people who are killed by them, the innocent people. But that's the norm of the current Israeli government. Most of the time to justify the killing, or by mistakes, nothing intentional. They are the perpetrators, the investigators, and the judge. How can they be the perpetrator, the investigator, and the judge? And they started, I know from day one, from the first moment, who targeted my house, and they killed my daughters. They started with falsification and lies. They said, first, there were snipers at the roof of the house. He said, if you have the most advanced technology. If you have seen the snipers, target them, kill them at the roof of the house. Because it's our building, me and my brothers, 5 floors. And if you have seen them in the 5th floor, target them and kill them. An ant, small ant, they can see it and they can target it. Why you didn't? It didn't work. Another lie. The second day they said there were firing from the surrounding. Firing? Who is going to fire? They were firing from them, bombarding and killing attacks. It didn't work. I kept patient and persistent. Then the third time they said, oh, we took shrapnels from my niece's wound and they found it from Hamas. It's a crime against humanity to have lies, to kill them another time. Every lie, it kills them another time. The shortest way is to acknowledge and to be honest and to have the courage to acknowledge the killing, not to live in denial. And that's their own norm. They continue with it. They kill Izzedin Abuelaish, the journalists, the hospitals, all of the time. They have the justification for their killing because of the impunity they are provided. So for 2 years, I tried to get the apology. 2 years. But I didn't get, with every possible peaceful means, behind the doors, asking them to acknowledge it. And there is a law in the judicial system in Israel. In particular, it's designed for the Palestinians. What we call it a statute of limitation. After 2 years, if 2 years passed, the incident or what happened, you can't file a lawsuit. So I have no way. Just 2 weeks before the deadline, I filed the lawsuit asking for an apology. And it took 7 years in order to have the first hearing. Because that's when we come to patience. I said, never mind, we will be patient. We went there to testify at the court, and after a year, the court declined the case. I have to appeal to the Supreme Court with all of the challenges, financial, logistics, everything. And I said it to them clearly. I asked my lawyer, I want from you to ask the court, I am the one who is going to defend his case. And I want to speak. And they have no way just to accept it. So I spoke to them. I told them, I am not coming to defend I am coming to advocate for justice because it's a clear case. And I speak to you. I hope justice can prevail here. So don't kill Bisan, Mayar, Aya, and Noor again and again in your court. If there is no justice here, there will be justice in other places. And why? Now I am open and free to go anywhere. Because if I want to file the lawsuit in any other country, in particular with ICJ, I have to consume all of the legal means in the country in which the tragedy happened. And I didn't get justice, so I can take it now to Hague. And that's what I am planning. And also, my children, they have to continue the march. And that's what we have to, not to give up, to continue our path, to bring our loved ones justice and accountability.
And the other part of the question, whether you ever think about the government of Benjamin Netanyahu ever be taken to court for what has happened in Gaza? Does it ever?
It has been, you know, it's important. Netanyahu, of course, is requested by the ICC as a criminal, war criminal. And Gallant, he's a war criminal. We need to endorse it, not some leaders in Western countries to shake hands with him and to welcome him in their countries. He is not, if they signed the ICC and they are members of it, they should arrest. And you asked me about Canada. Carney, the Prime Minister, he said if he comes to Canada, we have to arrest him. Mamdani in New York, he said if he comes to New York, we have to arrest him. What about Germany? What about Hungary? What about Austria? Western countries, they believe. In Hague, even in Netherlands. Hague is in the Netherlands. What are they going to do if Netanyahu, are they going to arrest him or not? He should be arrested. He should be arrested in any of these countries. We need the rule of law. And that's based on your question. The double standards. Can Putin travel to Western countries? He can't. If he travels, he should be arrested. And I am a pro support of the international law. We need it. That's what is important. He went to the United States. He spoke at the UN. Imagine a war criminal in the United Nations. And that's the double standards. That's the bias in the international law, the order of law. That's why no one to convince me to speak about the human rights. The human rights, if we want to see them tested, it's in Palestine. Start with Palestine to endorse these international laws. Otherwise, or someone to talk to me about these concepts, democracy, justice, equality, these are words. We need to live by these values. We reached a world in which it's not democracy, it's hypocrisy, it's mediocrity. We are in a world which is bankrupt morally, ethically, humanely, and legally. So it's time to revive life to our international system. Otherwise, what kind of world? It's only the law to protect the strong, where the law is to protect all, in particular the weak.
I think we have time for one more question or two. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much for your speech and for sharing your experience. And my question: recently, some countries, including Canada, recognize Palestine as a free state. So it's something that gives you some hope. That's first question. And second, it means that now you would be able to fill Palestine in your formula in Canada, if you come today to Canada? Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's a positive step. It's a first step. Recognition of a Palestinian state, though it was late, you know, by many other countries, but we need to transform this recognition into action, in a reality. When I recognize your hunger, to say, I know you are hungry, what else do you need from me? You need food. If I say, you say to me, I recognize, I acknowledge your thirst, you need water. I recognize your sickness, you need a treatment. So we need to translate it into action, not in words. And what was the reaction of Israel to that recognition? It was, there will never be a Palestinian state, there will never be a two-state solution. Even immediately they reacted by annexation of the West Bank. What these countries which recognized Palestine as a state, what did they do? They were silent. Even Macron, he planned to visit Israel. Netanyahu, he said, you are not welcome unless you denounce your recognition. What they did, we don't need by words. As I said, the patient doesn't need words. The patient needs actions. We need to walk the talk. And that comes back to what you mentioned about Ukraine and Palestine. We are both occupied. And I hope the world to deal with us and to treat us equally and to take actions based on the situation, to endorse the international system and sanctions to be imposed on anyone who is violating the international law. And I can. Now I would love, really, once I go to Canada, to register Palestine, but I am happy with Jabalia camp. I am proud of it.
I was told there's time for the last question.
Thank you very much for the very powerful sharing. One of the questions I have is that, so one of the problems we have with United Nations is that in United Nations there is no nations, there is only states, right? Nations and peoples are being put completely aside. And there is a lot of peoples actually that are suffering, I mean, of course Palestinians, but many others. And one of the questions is, should not be also a time to question who sits in the table, so who has the right of self-determination, who has the right to be peoples and to be discussing what is their future. And if you have been working also with other leaders from other peoples that are also facing the struggle of being completely excluded from decision-making processes on an international level.
As you mentioned, the United Nations, it's not United Nations, United administrations, political leaders who are meeting there. The nations, and that's what we need, not to generalize, not to put them. When we speak about the Czechs here, we have the Czech administration and we have the people. There is difference, and we should not put them in one basket. In the world, in Canada, we have the Canadian people, and the Canadian government, it has their own agenda, which is biased and complicit in what is happening in the United States. The American people, they are demonstrating and protesting, even American Jews. They are protesting against the genocide and ethnic cleansing. In Belgium, everywhere in the world. So I believe in that, and we need, it takes time, what we call it the downstream. The public started to wake up and to take actions. This may take time, but the momentum started, and we should continue with it. And it's your opportunity in the future with the elections to elect the right people who represent you. You represent your interest, the civil interest and the human values in our world. When you speak about political leaders, personally, I believe in you as a human. Political leaders, of course, everything by the end, it should be political. But we need first to strengthen our role as a human from the downstream and not to underestimate our role. The political leaders, as I said it today, this morning, political leaders are very coward. Very coward. They need you. And you have to choose your opportunity to have your mandate when they come for election to say to them, what are you supposed to do, and to be accountable to you. So overload them with writings, with emails, with letters. Don't give up. Join organizations. You need to join organizations which are advocating for justice, for equality. Start to be strong locally as it checks. And then you can spread it outside. So that's my main goal. In academic institutions, I see it among the students. I say it, academic institutions, they have a responsibility. They have a academic education which has a social, a human, healthy, peaceful impact. And that's what we need to promote it. And that's what I'm trying in my working, in my research, in my activities. And I am proud of that I am moving to Belgium to lead the Global Institute for the Study of Socio-Endemic Diseases, Hatred, Health, and Peace, and to be close to Europe. And Europeans, they have to understand it, not to be followers and in the bucket of the Americans. They have to be independent as a main pillar in our world, and we have a lot of commonalities between each of us. It's a continent with history, with culture, so they have to be independent, not to count on the American administration in their security. If they are not united, if they are not strong enough to live by the values they have, what is the value? They are gone. So it's time, maybe what is happening in Gaza, to revive a new era among the Western leaders and the people of Europe. I am sure the people of Europe, they started to wake up and to see what is happening with the American. I will never count on Trump and the American administration. You speak about Ukraine. Ukraine, even Trump, he is going to sell Zelensky. He sold him to Putin. And he said to the American, to the Western leaders, to all of them, where he was sitting in front of them, they are behind him. And this is insulting. This is dehumanization. He said, I like to sit in the front, and all of them, they are behind me. No one reacted. He said to them, provide Ukraine with weapons to resist Russia, but we will provide, the American administration, to provide them with weapons. But who is going to pay for it? The Western countries. So what is the value of that? So you need to be independent, security, economically, and to live by your own values.
Dr. Abuelaish, thank you for evening spent with you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being fantastic audience. A děkuji Kláře Laurenčíkové, Šimáčkové za úvod. Mějte se moc hezky. Thank you.
Thank you.